In March 2023, the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, was held. One of the speakers was Michael Knowles, who turned to political commentary after a career in acting, which included doing gay sex scenes, failed. During his speech, Knowles called for the genocide of transgender people.
I am Adolf Hitler, command of the Third Reich!
No Republican Party politician denounced the statement. In fact, Republican Senator from Utah Mike Lee came out against criticizing what Knowles said. Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy echoed support for Knowles. I will also note that Knowles was the co-host of a program with Senator from Texas Ted Cruz. The big talking point from the right after Knowles' comment was that eradicating, quote, transgenderism, end quote, is a different thing from wanting to eliminate transgender people. Needless to say, this is false. The supposed ideology of transgenderism is the mere concept of that group of people existing. For somebody to say that that concept should not exist is to say that those people should not exist. The fact that somebody so well connected to mainstream right-wing politics in the United States is advocating for a genocide is troubling enough. Knowles is far from alone in this regard. Joel W. Barry, the managing editor for the far-right publication The Babylon Bee, attempted to make the aforementioned distinction, but even said that transgender people should not exist. Barry has also described the fight for transgender equality to be a quote, pedophile movement, end quote. Barry's organization had previously come under controversy for its opposition to transgender people existing. In March 2022, they denied that Assistant Secretary for Health Rachel Levine, a transgender woman, was truly a woman, causing their Twitter account to be locked. The company then decided to boycott the website by refusing to delete the post, which they had to do in order for their account to be unlocked. Twitter having a policy against transphobia was the catalyst for apartheid welfare Elon Musk, a major benefactor of the Republicans, to purchase the social media company in October 2022. By April of the following year, Twitter removed its protections for transgender users. Then, in June 2023, Musk promoted the program What is a Woman, an anti-transgender movie created by Matt Walsh, a self-described theocratic fascist. In March 2023, Uganda imposed a law that criminalized being an LGBTQ person, with some criminalized acts being punishable by death. In response to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre condemning the law, far-right activist Delano Squires defended it. Squires is a research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. That organization is a shadowy right-wing think tank that shapes Republican policy, including recommending people to be appointed to the judiciary. Perhaps most notably, far-right media mogul Chaya Raichik has stated that LGBTQ people are, quote, poisonous, end quote, and, quote, evil, end quote. This is not the only example of Raichik's fascism, seeing that she participated in the deadly Capitol insurrection in January 2021 so that Donald Trump could remain President of the United States, and has incited domestic terrorism at Boston Children's Hospital merely because they accepted transgender people as patients.
Are we the baddies?
Raichik has become a major figure on the American right. Musk supported her view that queer students being treated with equality at their schools is, quote, harmful, end quote, and an act of pedophilia. It is not surprising that Musk supports the work of an anti-LGBTQ figure like Raichik, considering his own hatred for his transgender daughter.
I can no longer sit back and allow communist infiltration, communist indoctrination, communist subversion, and the international communist conspiracy to sap and impurify all of our precious bodily fluids.
Raichik has also been embraced by Trump and Governor of Florida Ron DeSantis, who offered safe harbor for her after she merely got some pushback for her actions. Of course, DeSantis has made his bigotry against queer people a major part of his administration. Namely, he enacted the Don't Say Gay law, which disallowed teachers from treating their LGBTQ students as equal people. His administration banned transgender people from accessing gender-affirming care. He took efforts to segregate queer people in the state, and his spokesperson baselessly stated that people who disagree with policies like these are pedophiles. Obviously, this rhetoric, and in some cases, actual law, towards transgender people is bad. However, things are far from hopeless. In March 2023, a national poll found that a majority of Americans oppose discrimination against transgender people. Furthermore, starting in 2016, various American elections where the Republicans put a strong focus on transgender matters has resulted in the party losing. At the personal level, there is stuff that can be done. Obviously, you can support people running for office that pledge to protect transgender people, or even run for office yourself. Additionally, when they may be having something like a pride event, regardless of your own identity and/or orientation, you can show up to support them. Unfortunately, mass gatherings of queer people have been targets for right-wing protests, especially since 2022. Also, some of these encounters with far-right people are them showing up with weaponry. Furthermore, if that happens, perhaps some pro-LGBTQ people could show up with their own firearms as a defense, provided they are qualified to use said objects. Additionally, if there is an anti-transgender, or more broadly, anti-LGBTQ, event in your area, protest it. If said event includes something like an anti-queer speaking engagement, try to non-violently disrupt them, which makes it harder for them to spread their bigotry. An example of this came in April 2023, when transgender segregation advocate Riley Gaines had an event at San Francisco State University. There, protesters disrupted her hate-filled speech. Afterwards, she ran away and hid, rather than attempt to defend her worldview.
What a fucking pussy.
While there is a massive movement against transgender people, there is a more massive movement in support of it, and we will win. Although the anti-transgender movement is well-funded, making the people who oppose it the definite underdogs, the latter people are in the majority and will eventually win, as the trend shows no sign of reversing.